Peace and blessings, family. It is yours truly, Amar Mari. I hope everybody's week is going well and you prepared for this upcoming weekend. I tell you, this new year has definitely been a very eventful one, a very challenging one. It's definitely been a year starting off that's causing us to grow and to put in the work. My queen and I have been taking out the time to invest in our personal lives, individually and as a couple, as well as entrepreneurs and business partners. So we've definitely been working on making sure that our lives are going in the right direction. We just don't pray and ask, the Creator to do things in our lives. We actually do things ourselves as well to make sure that we're lining up and ensuring that our dreams will become a reality. So it's definitely been a challenging one. I had to look at myself and be honest with myself and just tell the truth. I wasn't really doing as much as I know that I should have been doing. And so what I did was I ensured that this year that I would not do the same thing as last year. Each one of our years have been better. We definitely haven't been going backwards. We've been going forward. And it's because we've been doing self-analysis. So I just wanted to share a story with you very briefly in regards to how I help myself. I couldn't help anybody else until I first helped myself. And I came to that realization. It's like trying to help somebody out financially, but yet you don't have enough resources for yourself. And also I like to liken trying to help somebody else when you're incarcerated. If both of you are in jail, how can you both help each other get out of prison when you're both in jail? Or somebody is drowning and you can't swim and they can't swim. So that's the way I see life. First we have to help ourselves and then we can help the collective. And so with that being said, I had to really do a self-analysis of my own life, and I had a very bad temper. Okay. And I had to deal with my problems. I had to ask myself the question, why are you so angry? Why are you so offensive? Why do you get violently angry? Why do you speak so harshly? And so I had to do a self-analysis, and what I had came to find is that I had issues from my childhood, and even into my adulthood. When I tried to express myself, certain people wouldn't allow me to express myself. When I did respect myself, the backlash I got, from people not being able to take what I was saying to them. I was just simply expressing myself, not saying that necessarily the way that I felt was true, but I was just simply expressing myself. And so because I had experienced people trying to manipulate me and control me, family members, friends, people at the ministry I was going to. I was attending a temple and so many people trying to manipulate me and control me. And then in the military, then I was in a relationship with a couple women who were manipulative and controlling. And so whenever I had got into a situation and in psychology, they call it a trigger. So whenever I had got into a situation, I found myself reacting in a certain way. And it was because I had an accumulation of unresolved mental issues that I was dealing with. And so externally, I was acting out what was going on inside of me internally. And so I began to see that it had gotten to the point, it gotten so bad that it was affecting my relationship with family members, friends, also, co-workers. And so I had to go inside of myself and I definitely went to go see a psychologist, dealing with the psychics, dealing with the mind. I humbled myself. I went. I did not see it as a weakness. I recognized that I needed to talk to someone. And for my situation, talking was very therapeutic. I was able to express myself, and to be able to dive into the unresolved issues that I had from my childhood up until the point of adulthood at that particular point in my life, right? And so, I had to deal with why did I want to fight, and instead of being able to resolve an issue without being physical, right? I had to deal with that. When I had gotten angry, unfortunately, I had poor anger management skills. You understand? And I had to learn conflict resolution. I had to learn how to do that so I can have better social skills, so I can have healthier relationships. Okay. And so it even had affected my marriage at one point. You understand? And so I had to be honest with myself and just stop justifying my misconduct and work on myself so that my conduct can be becoming of a gentleman. So I can have uwa pele, a Yoruba term that stands for gentle or good character. And so I became a practitioner of following after wise principles in prayer and meditation. However, it was beyond the altar work. Okay. I had to literally exercise the patience. I had to literally tell myself no. And see, this is something that I just wanted to share with a lot of us, because really the strength actually comes by denying yourself. So what I had to do was I had to deny myself. I had to discipline myself. You understand? It wasn't enough for me to pray. It wasn't enough for me to go to the altar. It wasn't enough for me to call upon the ancestors and call upon the Creator. I had to do my own due diligence in order for my life to transform. See, I had to put in the work. I had to tell myself, no, don't say that. No, don't do that. You understand? And so as I began to exercise patience, as I began to exercise conflict resolutions, as I began to utilize the tools, okay, that helped me to become a person of temperance. When I began to do those things, my life began to evolve. Now, I'm not here to tell you that I'm perfect, but what I am here to tell you is that I have seen transformation take place in my life because of the implementation of accurate information. It brought about transformation in my life. And I just wanted to share that with you. Also, what I learned is just to simply do me. And I know it may seem very cliche. A lot of people, just do you. But to me, it's very powerful, because I had to just be myself. And let the truth be told, a lot of people were trying to make me into somebody that I'm not. Okay. They wanted to make me into their puppet. You understand? And so I had to be myself. I had to live my life. I had to implement what I know was right. And to be frank with you, I wouldn't be where I am today had I listened to other people. I'm just going to tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? I had to do what I know was right. I had to follow my life path. Okay? I had to do what was best for my family and I. Okay? And although I was judged harshly, although I was criticized, what I've learned is just do you, just do the right thing. Regardless of the outcome, sometimes you're going to feel lonely. You understand what I'm saying? But I had to learn how to deal with that. I had to learn how to deal with that. Why? So that I can stay mentally sound, so that my life can be stable. Okay. And I can maintain my equilibrium in life, if you will. I had to calibrate my life. Okay. And so a lot of times, people are more concerned about somebody else than they are about themselves, and you find yourself suffering. Okay? And I also had to learn how to let things go because, see, listen, when you revisit those traumatic situations in your life, what you're doing is you're actually traumatizing yourself. Like when you keep reliving that, you keep, for instance, like people who always just listen to racism all the time, just always listening to something that, is negative all the time. Unfortunately, you're going to find yourself in a very distraught position in life. You're going to find yourself stressed out, angry all the time because of what you're exposing yourself to. And so what I had to do was I had to stop exposing myself to content that was causing my mental faculty to become unstable. Okay, this is what I had to do. Okay, I recognized that I was becoming someone who I'm actually not. But I wasn't that desperate for me to be accepted. You understand what I'm saying? I wasn't that desperate for me to be accepted. And sometimes, we sometimes put ourselves in a disposition because we are too concerned about being embraced. You have to understand that that's where they're at in their life, in their mind. Okay? And you can't change no one. They have to make a conscious decision to change. They have to come to the understanding, right? And so what I've learned is don't try to make people understand anything. You just live your life. You understand. And I think a lot of times we frustrate ourselves. We put ourselves in a posture of mental instability because we're trying too hard to save people, and you can't save somebody who is not positioning themselves to be saved. You understand? And sometimes people, they're running away from the fight. I've learned that, listen, I understand. I began to understand that I need to be the example that I would like to see. And I began to understand that I could not help rescue anybody else because I wasn't mentally in the right place to help anybody else. I wasn't in a financial position for me to help somebody else. And sometimes so many people get so upset with you because you're not coming to their rescue when you can't even save yourself. When you're not even where you need to be at. And so what I had to do was I had to work on Amar. Okay? I had to make sure that Amar life is in the right place, that my marriage is in the right place, that my family is taken care of. Before I try to save anybody else, I have to make sure that I'm saving myself first. Then I can lend them a helping hand. Okay? Even on the plane, they tell you put your mask on first and then help somebody else. You understand? You have to make sure that you're able to survive first, And so this is something I had to learn. And I had to withdraw, and I had to go on the inside of me. Okay? And I had to ask myself, okay, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you prospering? It wasn't because, of my ethnicity. It wasn't because of my gender. What the reason why I wasn't prospering? Let me tell you why. Because the lack of knowledge was causing me to perish. I didn't have the tools for me to survive or to win. And so I looked at people who were prospering, like Brother Jay Morrison, and listened to people like my good brother on here, Chris Cadet, who who teaches financial literacy and teaches us about home ownership and the importance of those things. See, what we did was, as a family, we said, okay, how did they do that? We looked at that, man, how did they do that? Then we started researching and finding information, and it was the implementation of the information that transformed my life. So see, my queen and I, all praise be to the Creator. We give thanks for blessing us to be able to own properties. Okay, I'm not boasting, but what I'm telling you is that we recognize that it's not our ethnicity, it's not, my gender or her gender. Okay, we had to learn. And once we learned what we needed to learn, then we were able to help ourselves. And then when we seen that it worked, then we say, wow, this does work. Then what we did was we started sharing the information with other people. Because how can you teach somebody else something that you don't know? So see, I had to be honest with myself. I had to say, you know what? I'm not going to just talk about problems. I'm going to be the solution to the problem. I'm going to be the solution to the problem. See, what I had found myself was at one point in my life, just doing a whole bunch of complaining, but I wasn't doing anything to change my situation. And I remained in that situation. You know what? Until I said, okay, I need to learn how to rise above my present condition. Okay, I see that finances is a problem in my life. I see that I'm having issues spiritually and naturally in my life. So I needed to find a remedy to cure my issues. Okay, and once I seen the problem, I had to be honest and admit that I had a problem. Okay, and confess that I didn't know. Okay, and confess that, I had to grow up. Okay, and once I confessed those things, not only did I confess it, but I did something about it. Problem resolved. Because I have been honest with myself, I found out my problems, I found a solution to my problem, then I implemented the remedy to help cure my illness that I was having. I recognized that I was mentally ill, that I was mentally sick. You know what I'm saying? That I had the wrong mindset, that it was because of the way that I think. My attitude was determining my altitude. You understand? Instead of me being the thermostat, I was the thermometer. So see, I had to learn how to control my life, my mind. And then that's when Amar life began to evolve. And that's when I seen a shift in my life. See, I no longer care about, what people think about me. Okay? You understand? It don't matter, because I learned that what I think about me is what matters. That's what's really going to affect my life. It's not what somebody else think about me. It's about what Amar thinks about himself. Listen, your mindset is your problem. The way that you think causes the problems. Okay? And a lot of times we're keeping the problems around when we should be we constantly complaining about a certain person or certain people. Well, why are they still in your life? Why are they still there? Think about that for a moment. Why do you constantly put yourself in that traumatic situation? You're struggling spiritually. You're struggling financially. Okay, but let's get to the root of it. Why? And then once you get to the root of finding out the why, then you find the solution, and then you implement the remedy to help cure your situation. So this is how I started winning. I started winning because of my mindset transformed. That's how I started winning. And not only that, guess what I did? I ridded myself of the problem children that were coming into my life. I had to get rid of the things that was disturbing the peace. And guess what one of the issues was that was disturbing the peace? It was me. I was disturbing my own peace because of the way that I thought. It wasn't nobody else. It was Amar. And when Amar mindset changed, guess what? I started having peace that surpasses all understanding. And see, you get that peace that surpasses all understanding by guarding your heart and mind. Guard your heart and mind, for out of it flows the issues of life. Okay? So I started guarding my life and I started guarding my peace because I transformed my mind by putting the right things in my mind. So let's go through this again. Your problems will be resolved once you deal with your problems internally. And then you will see things externally transform in your life. Get rid of anything, okay, or anyone that is weighing you down. Cut off those mindsets, those messy mindsets that's causing your life to be a mess. Cut off those messy people that's bringing the mess in your life and causing life to stink because of the mess that they're bringing in your life. Detach yourself from that which is causing you to be able to sail off, all right, into victory in your life. It's just like a ship. Once the anchor is taken off of the ship, then the ship can sail. It can do what it's designed to do. But the ship will never be able to sail because the anchor is holding it in place. Let go of those things that are holding you in place so that you can drift off into the victory and successes of your life. This is yours truly, Amar. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully this has been a blessing to you, and hopefully you share this. I want to also thank everybody who's tuned in, everybody who shared and invited, everybody who's joined our Instagram pages and our YouTube channel, subscribed. We want to thank you, but first and foremost, I want to commend you for taking the steps to you to be able to evolve in your life by you partnering with us and allowing us to pour into your life as well. Listen, our attitude is servitude. Every single solitary day, I dedicate my life to helping to help touch somebody else's life, to help them to start winning in life as I'm winning now and as we are winning now on today. Okay, remember, you've been given life to give somebody else life.